Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Anybody? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hump day, hump day, hump day.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Lifting the Veil with me and my brother in Christ and good friend Franz. How you doing today, Franz?
Not too bad. It's good to be back.
Good to have you back, buddy.
Busy week.
Boy, I guess, dude. Sun came out and all of a sudden everybody wants me to work on their houses.
Not too bad of a, not a bad thing.
I've had worse problems. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. You like that backdrop?
Looks cozy.
If I look at the fire, I feel the warmth from it.
Yeah. That works sometimes.
So, I was just explaining today to Jay that went a little bit different of a format today. So I normally have presentations ready and I get going and start showing you all the cool things that I'm either reading about or going through. But long story short, computer crash. I don't have what I started, and I don't have my other things are not ready. So it's going to be a wing it, current events. We'll talk about news and whatever. If anybody in the chat or you have ideas, let's spitball. Let's just go with it. So,
I'm down like Funky Town, man.
I was going to start here. I got a few news reports. One of them just came out today. So I'm going to start presenting so I can search and show you. I'll just present my whole screen.
Mm-mm.
Can you see me now? Yes, I am presenting, huh?
We can see now. Yep. Google.
Did you ever hear of Mari?
Dude, I gotta tell you, man, I've been seeing like all kinds of people doing videos about this, but I have no idea what they're talking about.
He was stabbed by.
That guy. That's who that is?
Yeah, he's in Australia, and he's a Christian bishop.
Well, he's claims to be a Christian, but yeah.
He claims to be, yeah.
Yeah, he's always coming across my feed on YouTube.
Yes, he comes on mine as well, and people do share him. There's things I've heard him say that I have enjoyed, and then there's other ones where I'm like,
He's of that faith that's really close to Catholicism.
Correct, Assyrian Orthodox.
Yeah, he's like a Catholic basically. I mean, you can tell by the way he dresses.
Right, and he wears the cross.
And he keeps his head covered when he's preaching, and he shouldn't do that.
And he's in Australia, in Sydney.
Yeah.
But he's 53? So he got stabbed in the head.
Oh, really? I haven't even heard anything. This is all new to me, so let's do this.
Same here. I just picked this one up right, probably about an hour ago. I figured, let's learn about this guy together. So his name is Mari Emmanuel. He's a prominent conservative leader in the Assyrian Orthodox Christ, the Good Shepherd Church. That's a huge mouthful for a church. Yeah, he's in Sydney. He's 53, sustained lacerations to his head after being lunged in during a mass service at the church. He was being broadcast online. And the police commissioner saying they underwent surgery, and he's lucky to be alive. It's who the attacker was. I wanted to say riots after 16-year-old. He's a 16-year-old stabbed him. Wow.
Wow. That's pretty young.
The bishop who was knifed in an alleged terror attack. They're labeling it a terror attack. So yeah, here. I mean, that's a still picture of it, but I'm not going to play it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. My personal feelings about this guy are set aside. Like this is what the Bible talks about the rebellious children in the last days. These children are going to rise up and be wicked, the wicked generation.
They're going to be wicked generation possessed by the Antichrist spirit killing believers.
Right.
And that's the same here, me putting aside my personal, I haven't got to know this guy or dug into him enough to feel comfortable enough to voice my personal opinion about him. But regardless, it is talked about. I mean, a 16-year-old, yeah. Islam, I would have to say.
Yeah. Sorry, can you hear me typing? I was just replying to a comment. Yeah, I mean, my personal opinion, obviously I have no ill will towards the guy. I don't want him to be getting stabbed and stuff. But his messages are dangerous. Like this is what I try to tell people all the time. Like, if 90% of your message is truth and 10% is dangerous, first of all, how do you draw the line? And second of all, that leaven, that's why Jesus says a little leaven will leaven the whole lump. That leaven, that false teaching gets into your head. And then when other people are trying to teach you something, then you're remembering. This is why the lukewarm have such a hard time coming out of their lukewarmness. Because they have this stuff in their head. And whenever you try to teach them the truth, these thoughts come back up and stand against what you're saying. And it's really hard for them to learn and to stay on the right path because they have all this leaven in their heads already. So I would stay away from that guy, just as a heads up to everybody. But I didn't know that's who that was. I had heard about the attack, and I had seen, seen the name on many videos. People talking about it. But I didn't make the connection between the name and the event that happened there.
Yeah, the same here. Like I said, he's popped up in my feed, and there'd be a point in the message he's saying that whatever it is that pops up that I can agree with, but then, like you said, that it can be very dangerous, and he does seem to be a lukewarm that could lead you in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So what else has it been in the news? What was the number one search on April 8th in that afternoon? Google's number one search.
Oh, I don't know. Was it about the God particle guy, Higgs or whatever?
Nope. Directly after the event.
I don't know. I never have looked at Google search thing or whatever. This will be my first time going to this site or page here. So,
Oh, of course, I misspelled it. So I'll just tell you, the number one search was, wow, I do need a new computer. This thing's acting crazy. I apologize.
No worries, man.
It's why do my eyes hurt?
Oh, yeah. I heard people asking this question. I was like, did you look at the sun? Like, come on, man.
It was the number one search for like 3 or 4 hours directly after that event.
I'll be honest with you. My head felt like it had a lot of pressure after that.
During it?
Yeah, like my
that day?
my
Yeah.
head. I felt like it was like pressurized my head a little bit. My eyes didn't hurt.
I felt that same way, and I felt like it was very exhausting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my family members too. We were all inside. We didn't go look at it or anything. We didn't even go outside, and it was just exhausting.
I was outside painting, spray painting. But I had my GoPro set up with I took those Eclipse glasses and put it on my GoPro.
Did you?
Yeah, just set it up to record it. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it would like cook my lens or anything, so I didn't want to like just do it willy nilly. But I did get some crazy pictures, dude, of the eclipse. It was like it had like you could see it, like the actual eclipse looked like a full-on sun, but then to the side you could see the crescent. But it was like bright blue. I'll send it to my email and then I'll show you afterwards.
All right. I know a couple people who bought different phones to see if it would destroy them and not care. Like they got an Apple and an Android and were shooting pictures of it just because. But I don't know if you can see the path of the event, and all the dark blue was the spike in searches for why do my eyes hurt.
Yeah, because when here's the thing is when the eclipse is right over you, you can, once it's in totality, you can take your glasses off and look at it.
But if you're not,
right, but once it starts going away, you know, then you gotta put your glasses back on.
What it's funny is, why is it you don't see it only when it's a black shadow over the sun?
Right.
You know what you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like any other day, you can find it in the daylight in the sky, but you never see it approaching or departing.
Phoenix says that they've been feeling exhausted and mentioned the barges. Yeah, did you see that with the all those barges in the Ohio River or whatever?
I didn't see all of it. No. Let's look that one. Or more barges hitting?
There was a bunch of them.
Hitting bridges?
Well, they were just, I don't know what they ended up doing, but there was like a bunch that got loose.
Yeah,
right. There you go.
Here's one: recovery of a runaway barge. Yeah. Ohio River in Pittsburgh reopened.
The USA Today one says 26 broke loose on the Ohio River. 26, huh? 66, 2 6s.
Yeah, right here it does say
Yeah.
it. 26 barges broke loose on the Ohio River. Here's what happened. Well, it's USA Today. We can trust them. Let's go there.
Yeah. Can trust them to be part of the
Official poll.
narrative. Let's see. What time? Look at April.
Officials pull out 5 barges.
Go ahead. I was just
60.
reading the published date.
Published 2:25 p.m.
Yeah.
April 16th, 2024.
So,
Updated 9:19 a.m.
of course it is.
No, thank you. No. Wow.
You don't want to buy that?
Go away. Thank you. No. Nor do I want to buy this.
Yeah, they'll probably just give you another one. Like, oh, you
Officials. Oh, yeah.
sure? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you might not want to click that other one.
No.
How'd that get over there? Warning, this stream's current bitrate is lower than recommended. That's fine. YouTube's always trying to mess with me.
Anyways, let's go. Here we are. 26 barges broke loose. Some have sunk. Like, what started this?
I have no idea.
How many
Go to that
barges broke
article.
loose?
We'll read it. Just pick one and we'll read it. See what the deal is.
Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
What are
Recovery of runaway barges continues as a section of the Ohio River remains closed. 26 barges broke loose late Friday. 17 have been secured so far.
17. Crazy. Anything to hurt our supply
Recovery.
chain. Indeed. Sorry, I'm just reacting to comments.
No, I just read it at the same time you were reading it. Hurting the supply chain. That's all it seems like all of that is. Anything that has to do with barges. Stop.
Oh, man.
Go away.
Did it click?
Yeah. Oh,
We
my
gotta get you
Lord.
some high-speed internet, bro.
I do have it. $200 a month doesn't buy you the highest speed internet, then I don't know.
Holy lightning. You pay that much for internet?
Yeah, and the cable. I'll be right.
See ya. Well, as you guys have probably noticed, this is an unorthodox show tonight. Just kind of freestyling. So we're just kind of going.
Yeah, sorry about the dysfunction.
No.
All right. Somebody was on their high-speed gaming laptop.
Oh.
That's why I disappeared.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll suck up some bandwidth.
As you said, I can tell when he's on it when I'm trying to do this because it just kills me.
It's like, what? No.
A lot of CERN popped up. I'm getting a lot of CERN in my news feeds.
Yeah, let's talk about Higgs.
Yeah, well,
If
was
you
it
want.
Peter?
Yep.
Yeah. It's another good event that happened that day. Peter Higgs. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but you have the Higgs boson, the Higgs particle. CERN calls it the God particle. His last name is Higgs. He's the one that discovered the God particle. They call him the father of the God particle. He died on April 8th. All right.
Yeah, during the eclipse.
During the event.
Yeah. Here I am blowing up my own spot.
So he's one of the main physicists that has been with CERN, developing CERN, discovering particles, naming the Higgs field, the Higgs particle, and many other things after himself. And with the whole nothing happened that day, I feel this is pretty significant for not having anything happen that day.
Yeah, a lot of things didn't happen that day. I've seen, if you go on YouTube and look at for strange happenings during the event, there is a ton of them. People are watching stuff zip through the sky. People got filming of the Devil's Comet. I've seen some crazy stuff.
There've been a lot of reports and video evidences of strange things. Absolutely, and I don't believe this particular one is just by chance.
Nah, man, he was food for the machine.
I believe so. I absolutely agree. Yes. Why wouldn't they put the Higgs particles into the Higgs field, right?
Yeah. Remember when we were talking about this and I brought up that movie with Johnny Depp, Transcendence. I actually went and watched it right after we talked about it. Dude, that was crazy.
I went to,
huh?
I went to look for it and I found I had to rent it, which I didn't do. So.
Yeah, man. So much stuff in there. I don't even remember being in there.
You did point out that what's his name made a visible appearance.
Yeah, dude. Oh, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, he was in the crowd right at the beginning when they started talking about the AI revolution coming. And there's Mr. Elon Musk in the audience. I was like, oh, this is ritual magic for sure.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, there was nanoparticles, right? And they were putting them into people's bodies. And then these people were becoming part of Johnny Depp, I guess, the Hive. Like, we could consider him the Lucifer character. And they were becoming part of the Hive. And this stuff, when it was like in the cloud, looked like black goo. I was like, this is crazy. Like, of course, when I saw it last time, I barely even watched it because I wasn't paying too much attention. But I also wasn't awake at the time, so I had no idea what I was watching.
Right. When you watch it before you're awake, it's just entertainment. And, wow, somebody's got a crazy fantasy.
Right.
Because these true stories or things thrown at you in that fashion just seem too out there to.
Yeah, I'm like, that'll never happen. This movie's dumb.
So he was born in 1929, right?
Yeah, on the 29th.
On the 29th. So let's. Just curious. I'm going to do a quick search here. Let's see. World events 1929. Global. So I typed in world events 1929. Globally, the influenza epidemic reached a large number of people, killing about 200,000 in 1929.
Really? Dude.
Yeah. That's the first thing that pops up.
Because in 1919,
that's
the Spanish flu. 10 years before that.
Yeah.
And that killed millions of people. The inauguration of Herbert Hoover.
Yeah.
Isn't he like a
We'll go
vacuum
back to
cleaner
that.
guy?
No, he was.
I know. That was a joke, dude.
No, yeah, you got me by surprise there. I was like, oh, what are you talking about? Yeah. So I mean, his vice president was Kirby.
Kirby Vacuum, yeah. I remember that. I was just going to say something inappropriate about him. I was going to use
So
an inappropriate word, but it's not really inappropriate, but for me it is.
so there's 200,000 people got killed by the epidemic in 2029. Sorry, 1929.
I was
And
like,
then,
yeah, dude, right, going to the future? Back to
well,
the
you know,
future.
the way it does repeat, you never know. You got Hoover, the president, like Hoover Dam, was inaugurated, and the independence of Vatican City, and something about Al Capone. The independence of Vatican City.
What is that?
Let's look that one up. Is that when the Vatican City is its own sovereign entity?
Right, it's like London. It's London, London City and Washington, D.C. Those are all the arms of Lucifer. Like, Washington, D.C. is the military arm. London City is the financial arm, and Vatican is the religious arm, and they all have those obelisks. Was recognized by the fascist Italian government. Sovereignty is exercised by the Pope upon his election as the head of the Roman Catholic Church. He has absolute executive, legislative, and judicial powers within the city. Yeah, he's the mafia don.
He really is.
Yeah, that's what the Godfather is.
That is the Godfather 3. It talks about the IHS and Corleone gets knighted in the Knights of Malta in that movie.
Yeah, dude, the Pope, he's the head of the mafia.
He's the one that Knights of... Yeah, here we go. Well, let's look at this. So in 1929, the fascist Italian government acknowledged that the Vatican City is its own sovereign. So they were already declared or recognized as that by the rest of the world, just not the fascist Italian government.
And it's a star fort, dude. Look at the points.
Look at that. It is, too, yes.
See all the little jab
the
outs?
star fort.
Yeah. Totally a star fort.
And then the keyhole.
Yeah, it looks like like a skeleton key, bro. It's the Death Squad, right? Skull and Bones.
Here's the Knights of Malta.
Raven retracted their messages. Huh. That's weird.
This is the Pope takes over the Knights of Malta and the Catholic Order after a condom dispute.
What?
Order of Malta. I don't know what that means.
I hope it means something different.
I'm hoping so too. I'm going to assume that it does. But you're absolutely right. The Pope is the head of the mafia.
That's why everybody comes and kisses his ring, dude.
Right. It absolutely is.
That's what they do in the mafia. You gotta kiss the ring of the Don or whatever.
It's just the satanic order of evil. So in other presentations that I've done, I've talked a lot about the neutrino detectors.
Yeah.
So I had an article in here.
You forgot a T.
I did, didn't I? So this is an article that came across my news feed right after I was looking into the Peter Higgs. We talk about how CERN, they're getting knowledge from the fruit of the forbidden fruit, the forbidden knowledge, right? They're pulling that knowledge.
They're talking to demons, bro. Yeah.
Right. And then this article stuck out to me because it basically says that neutrino whispers quantum gravity secrets from the South Pole. University of Copenhagen, team of contributors to the Antarctic large-scale experiment striving to find out if gravity also exists at the quantum level. So they're straight out using these. They'll call them a telescope. Like I pointed out, this one that they're talking about in Antarctica as a neutrino telescope to detect neutrinos, but it's opening a line of communication. And here they're straight out saying they're getting whispers of secrets. Right?
Yeah, dude, that's not demonic at all. Oh, look, and it's dated April 8th. Go figure. Yeah,
yep.
April 8th. Isn't that interesting?
That's the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory. Particle physics, quantum gravity, and quantum physics. University of Copenhagen is a partnership in the Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory. It's buried 1.5 to 2.5 kilometers below the Antarctic ice in the South Pole. There's over 5,000 light sensors in the ice, and it's huge. Several thousand sensors distributed over a square kilometer in the South Pole are tasked with answering one of the large outstanding questions in physics. Does quantum gravity exist? Particles with no electrical charge are almost without mass. Get into talk about all this particle, but it's really they're just opening that line of communication.
Yeah, dude, they want to know if there's gravity in the bottomless pit. I mean,
is it going to stop you? Yeah,
you just fall forever.
Basically,
that's why the Bible says that they will cast you down to the sides of the pit, because if you don't get on the sides of the pit, then you'll just fall forever. How crazy is that the bottomless pit is real, huh?
I know, right? It is no joke.
Remember in the second Bill and Ted's? When they died and then they were falling down to hell and they were screaming and then they stopped. They screamed for a minute and they're like, man, this is a really deep hole. What do we do now? I don't know. Starts screaming again. Oh, dude.
That's when they had Napoleon in the.
He was in the first one.
Telephone.
Yeah, he was in the first one. Yeah.
I've talked about the Atlas at CERN.
Yeah.
This was also, I think, well, they reported it, but they turned Atlas on to take measurements. The Atlas collaboration measured the W boson simultaneous with the W boson mass. So they're telling you during this event on April 8th, they were turning these, neutrino detectors and the colliders on for whatever reason, but they're trying to find out, measurement of mass of particles, of individual particles.
Yeah, so if you know that the neutrinos are dark matter, and dark matter, like as I showed in the Golden Compass video, is
The dust.
the dust, yeah, which is dark spirituality, like evil.
Right.
It would make sense that they were trying to do this during the event, because I know a lot of people don't think anything happened, but many things happen, and these guys this is what I try to tell people. It takes time for something, when people on Earth do a ritual, it takes time for that ritual to manifest in the spiritual realm. And then things in the spiritual realm take place, and it takes time for them to manifest in the physical realm. It's not like an instant thing.
No, it isn't. And it's all of us. Every single one of us have been programmed, predictive programmed to expect instant gratification. And I was saying it to another individual I was speaking with about it, was since being a little kid, you've watched every Disney movie, right? And even not just any movie.
Yeah.
There's a villain, and the villain, what the villain's going to do, because they all of a sudden bust on the scene like that in song form, and they sing to you what they're doing or what their plan is.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen in real life.
No.
You're not going to have the West Side Story with the Jets and and singing and snapping and playing switchblade combs, or Ursula coming out of the ocean and singing as a giant octopus, and what's going to happen. It's not like that. And if you think that a cornerstone groundbreaking ceremony isn't planned into the sacrifice that it's going to be in how many decades, it isn't. These things are not just thought of and planned out for 10 minutes down the road. They will bring somebody into a human into this world, and their sole dedication is to play one particular part in a sacrifice 80 years from now.
Like Higgs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Atlas, we all look for Atlas maps, right? Not anymore, not as much as we used to, but if you look up anything, it's Randy Atlas maps. Randy McNally Atlas. It's an atlas. Atlas means map.
Yeah, I got all kinds of atlases.
Right? So, but why would they name a Hadron Collider, or a portion of it, or something about it, Atlas? They're mapping out something, or
right.
They call it a general purpose detector. It investigates a wide range of physics, from Higgs boson to extra dimensions and particles that could make up dark matter.
I love how they say extra dimensions.
Extra.
Oh yeah, there's a couple over there, but they're just extra. Don't worry about those ones, man. They're just extra. In case we run out of our dimension, we got a couple extras.
There's a couple extra dimensions. We're reaching into the dimension, below us, and bringing out dark matter into our dimension. But there's a couple extra ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and I felt it. I don't even know how to explain it. Just a feeling in my bones, in my soul, that, you know, there wasn't a big song and dance and a big hoopla, but I could just feel it. I just knew something spiritually was very significant about that day.
Yeah, and I would assume that, many people felt something. And I heard, and I've watched a couple videos, and I've seen more than one video where someone was showing that the moon was somewhere else in the sky during the eclipse, during that event. Like, they're like, I don't know what's going in front of the sun, but this is the moon. And then they panned over and you could see the moon. And I saw this in multiple videos of the moon being somewhere else. And I actually heard a video of this lady talking about it, who was into astrology or whatever, saying that she thinks that this event is going to be impossible because the moon is going to be over here. So how could it possibly pass in front if it's going to be over here? And it goes backwards.
I'd agree with it.
Right? It goes backwards across the U.S. Like the sun goes from east to west. But the event went from west to east. Right? So you go and look it up. Like, why does this happen? And you get a bunch of NASA jargon, but they don't know why it happens. They try to science it away, but nothing they say makes any sense, even if you believe in that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty crazy. 19... Yeah. Metropolis. Yeah, I remember... I feel like they remade that movie. I might have seen the remake. Yeah, I saw it as well. The excuse was it was Jupiter, not the moon. Yeah, well, the stars are outside of the firmament, so it can't be any... It had to be something artificial or spiritual. I'm guessing spiritual, because everything that I was seeing, all these signs, all this stuff was pointing to this massive ritual with this black hole sun, and it was just absolutely crazy. Like, and if you look on YouTube, you'll see all kinds of crazy stuff.
There really is a lot of crazy stuff out there, and that's exactly how I felt about it. I couldn't explain to you exactly, and I just felt it, that there was something, ritual or sacrificial or whatever it was. There was very spiritual wickedness, and like I said, I stayed home. I asked my family not to watch, not to look at it, and just stay inside with me.
Yeah, see? Like, look at this
so
explanation. Yeah, you want to read it?
Yeah, sure. So I looked up, I typed in, why does the moon shadow move west to east? Why does the eclipse move west to east? The Earth rotates counterclockwise as viewed looking down on the North Pole. Instantly doesn't make sense.
Yeah, keep going.
So it wants you to visualize you're above the globe looking directly down on top of it.
Yeah.
So then if you did that, you wouldn't see any countries on the supposed side of it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're looking directly down. And the moon also rotates around the Earth in the same counterclockwise direction. So it's spinning. So the moon moves between the sun and the Earth from the west part of the sky as seen from spot on the Earth.
Okay, now, anyone who watched this thing, watched it come up from the bottom. It came up from the, if you were looking at it, at least from where I'm at, from the southern side of it, it came up from the bottom right-hand side. That's where it started. So, think about this. They're saying that the moon goes counterclockwise. Now, on this channel, we don't buy into this NASA garbage. We believe in God's creation, all right? The firmament, the flat earth construct, because it makes sense, and the science proves that it makes sense if you do actual science. But, so they want us to believe that the moon is traveling the same direction as the earth, going counterclockwise. But if you've ever watched the sun go by and then the moon go by, the moon's always following the sun. It's always following the sun. The moon goes from east to west just like the sun does. This is insanity, but they want to, all of a sudden, they want to change all the science. Because they can't explain this. You see? This is what's happening. This is like a wake-up call for many people, like, hey, wait a minute. What the heck? Why is it going backwards? Yeah. So, let's see. Let's search up how fast does the moon travel around the earth. Because we want to see if the moon travels faster than the earth. Otherwise, it's going to be slowly behind the earth. You see what I'm saying? Like, the science doesn't make any sense.
It should be, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Because it also, when they lay the 100% path over a country, bottom west to top east, but it's like a wave over the. I'm trying to explain what they're explaining, and it just is ridiculous.
Right, you can't even get it out because you're like, right. You get halfway through it, and you're like, "What? This? No, that doesn't even make sense. Like, this is stupid."
What am I trying to say?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like an idiot just reading this. You know.
and that's the design of it.
Yeah.
The absolute design of it. Like, what is it? South Park gave a defense term. The Chewbacca defense during the O.J. Simpson trial. His fantasy team of defense lawyers would just mumble jumble the jury until it didn't make any more sense, and they just called it the Chewbacca defense theory. And it's literally a defense theory now.
Yeah.
So NASA does the same thing.
Yeah, it makes no sense,
blah,
man.
blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
let's see.
And here's another. What year did the Black Hole Sun video come out?
1994.
And how old was Higgs when he died?
94.
94. Just another coincidence there.
Yeah, just coincidence. And it came out on 88 in 1994. August 8th, 94. So there's your portal to 94 for the Black Hole Sun, and then old homeboy just happens to manifest himself into the machine and become the antiparticle.
Part of it. Become part of it. And that's exactly what, if you ask my opinion, my personal opinion is in a layman term, in a layman way of saying it, he uploaded his consciousness into the internet,
Yeah, he's probably watching this video right now, man.
Yeah, from inside.
They're totally talking about me.
Well, I mean, what would help the
Me.
disembodied?
Go ahead. Sorry,
What's that?
I'm researching and listening.
No. Where was I?
You were talking about
Anyways.
his uploading his conscience.
Oh, right. So, you know, by part of our theory is we're saying that the disembodied Antichrist spirit is in there, speaking to them, giving them forbidden information. Right. So, what else would help a disembodied Antichrist spirit than having an embodiment of human spirit in there? If that makes sense of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, it does make sense.
And I've honestly said it a few years ago that, you know, I didn't really have any proof or anything to lead me in that direction, but I just feel it that people already have been uploading portions of themselves, trying to live forever in that sense. And that's exactly what AI is going to wind up happening in the Internet of Things, the source of immortality. So I got this article. It's a couple different releases on it. One was April 16th, 2024. Talks about a part of the continued commitment to making this science fully open. So the CMS collaboration has just publicly released in electronic format a combination of CMS measurements that contribute to establishing the discovery of Higgs boson in 2012. So Peter Higgs boson particle, the God particle, was discovered in 2012. But they're saying here is just a little disclosure that we're collaborating with all the fields to release our information publicly.
Remember, that's when the Mayans said the world was going to end.
By the Mayan calendar, correct?
Yeah.
And CERN was right on top of that.
Okay, let me read you a couple things.
Okay.
Am I distracting you?
No.
Okay. So I just looked up the questions, right? So check this out. So first of all, I said, here's my question. Does the moon travel the same direction as the sun? Okay? And all these websites are saying, yes, it follows pretty much the same path as the sun. Huh. Isn't that weird? How does NASA not know that? So then I said, how fast does the Earth spin? So this says at the equator, the Earth spins 1,674 kilometers per hour, which you got me, dude. I don't know what the translation is. I don't know why they give me kilometers. I'm in America, dude. I know you're tracking me. But it says the moon spins at 3,683 kilometers. So twice the speed of the Earth. So that means it would just go through the night sky like nothing. See, none of this makes sense. Like if you actually start looking into the globe and all this other stuff, none of it makes any sense. None of it. It's all just fabrication. No. Kilometers to miles. So yeah, it was like
so it's
17,
a little less than 3/4.
Yeah. So then that means it's probably like 1,200 miles per hour, which would make sense. Electric universe is plasma, yo. Oh boy. I don't know what that means, but there is definitely electricity in the air. I will give you that. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. So there you go. See, we've looked up what NASA has to say about why the eclipse goes backwards. And by doing a couple extra little searches, you can see that it's complete poppycock. it's all deception.
Absolutely.
But NASA does mean to deceive, so anybody following them is gonna be deceived.
Yeah, and I have a question about astronaut training. Why does NASA have the biggest in-ground pool and underwater training program for astronauts?
Yeah, don't they have a replica of the space station down there?
In underwater?
Yeah, in the pool.
Because it's the underwater atmosphere is the closest thing for a human to the outer space.
Yeah. Dude, I seen them doing spacewalks with like air bubbles go by, you know?
Air bubbles,
You're like,
yeah.
oh, wait, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kid Joe, who does a channel called Effed Up World, he's constantly showing NASA. He's got like the best of the NASA follies, you know. He doesn't call it that, but he's always showing the mistakes they make, and like when you can see like, you know, they get hung up on the wire.
The wire,
stuff.
right? Yeah. Look at me do a no gravity flip. And
Yeah,
you see their shirt from the wire.
Yeah.
They're like this. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they'll like throw something to somebody and like it will like go through their hand. It's like, oh my goodness, man. You gotta not be paying. Oh, that's just a glitch since it's coming from space. You know, people just convince themselves of these things. They make excuses for why they're seeing these lies, you know. They are shown the lies and then they can't grasp it. They have to explain it away,
right?
So they don't have to accept the fact that they've been believing this lie the whole time.
And it starts from when we're little, really little. We're learning the 8 primary colors, and the first thing we draw is green earth, blue and green earth, and a moon and a yellow sun, and balls here and balls there. It's
right, and they get you on rockets,
core value of everything.
Yeah, they start you off with the space stuff right off the rip. You know, we're brought up on that stuff.
One. Getting weaker.
It said Gertrude. That was funny.
Did it?
Yeah, when you like put in GRT, it like gave you this little, you know how it like suggests stuff. It says dark energy could be Gertrude. That was just funny that it suggested that. Like, okay.
I don't know Gertrude.
Yeah, me either.
She's not my friend. So this article talks about dark energy could be getting weaker, suggesting that the universe will end in a big crunch. The discovery of evolving dark energy would be as revolutionary as discovering the accelerated expansion of the universe itself.
So wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
So this is like
they're saying
the anti-Big Bang.
Right.
So everything's going to come back together, and then bang out, and then there's nothing.
We're going back to nothingness. The expansion of the nothingness.
You know what? I think I've heard this theory before because they say that I've heard when I used to watch the universe, they used to say that it would, some people believe that it would expand and then it would contract again back in on itself from gravity, of course, and then squish itself into nothing again and then bang again and start all over. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. It's
like, dude, you know what? If people could make something out of nothing, then everyone would be rich. Okay? You can't just get all this from nothing. Atheists think they're not religious, but they believe in the Big Bang. You know how much faith it takes to believe in the Big Bang?
And they believe the opposite of God. So,
yeah.
And the more they prove themselves believing that, the more it's going to push me to believe in God.
Yeah.
The more you try to disprove God, when you believe in him. You know? It doesn't matter if you don't, or if you do, they do.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah. I was actually talking about that on... I was actually talking about that in the Bible study when I was on this other site with this other kid. Talking he thought he lives in some plasma universe. That was like a holographic reality. And I'm like, dude, seriously? I was like, do you know how much faith it takes to believe that? Like, that faith could be used to believe in God, man. It's way easier to believe in God than that. And I don't know about you. Your thought process obviously comes from a monkey. But I didn't come from a monkey. I'm not evolved from, like, an ape. You know?
No,
I'm like, dude, this stuff is just unreal.
Evolution is a theory.
Yeah, and a pretty terrible one at that. It's made so people will think that they're stupid. Just like the whole, we only use 10% of our brains. I've hated. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Another preset. Absolutely. That's a preset so you don't think. Right. I can never be smart enough to use anything more than 10% of my brain. It's ridiculous.
It's so they're
we're designed to, the real evolution is a spiritual evolution, and you were designed to use your whole brain to become godlike, but not in the physical. You know what I mean?
It's never made sense to me. Like, I'm like, there's no way. You know, like that movie, Lucy, you know, Lucifer. She takes all that medication, busts open in her belly, and shows her, like, you know, morphing into this energetic being who can control things with their mind. It's like, this is what people could do if they could use 40% of their brains, and it's all to keep people asleep, so they just go, you know what? I'm stupid. I can't do anything. I'm an ape. I only use 10% of my brain. I'm barely better than a monkey. Like, I'm surprised I can use this stick to get ants out of the hole. You know, like, man. And people just eat it up, dude.
They do. Absolutely. It's in our human nature to enjoy an easy explanation or a pile of garbage. We manja, eat it up. You know, and it's no dig at anybody, because I spent a long time of my life eating it.
Yeah, absolutely. I never bought into the brain thing or evolution, but I believe my fair share of the narrative, like space, and like I got into space. That was like, that's where I fell off the deep end. Like, I used to get into that. But then I started to wonder towards the end there, how do they know this stuff? Like, they can't even give me a picture of, like, you know, the real planets. How are they seeing these galaxies 500 billion light years away? Like, oh, we can see through because of gravitational lensing. We can see around these other galaxies and through this atmosphere and through this and that. It's like, after a while, I started to become suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, you do. It's like that the whole explanation of the planet X or Nibiru or whatever you want to call it, and how it hides behind the sun, and we can't see it. It's bigger than our sun. It's bigger than us. It, it has a different rotation or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
Yeah.
The rotation around the evolve or whatever around the sun, it goes a different direction than all the other planets that are going, and all how it makes everything else react in the universe is measurable, but we can't see it. So, but believe us, it's there. But that's still a conspiracy too.
Yeah, believe us, because we have told you the truth all the time.
And I've never really got into the whole plasma cosmology, so I just looked it up real quick. So it's another theory that is, I guess it challenges the Big Bang model. The universe is made up of space plasma. Plasma is the word given to the fourth state of matter: solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. A plasma is a gas that is so hot that some or all its constituent atoms are split up into electrons and ions. Okay, so that's true for on our Earth, in our globe. Like the military has defense weapons, defense plasma shield weapons, right? So in blatant terms, what it does is our military was overseas and on roadside IED bombs, where it would just go off, where a suicide bomber would be laying there and just wait for the truck or the platoon of people to go by. So as soon as this weapon detects a heat sense, like somebody shot a fire rocket launcher or an explosion is happening, this thing will send out a frequency into the air that is creates the air molecules such a friction that it heats them up. And hot air is thicker and denser than cold air, so it basically makes the air around it so hot and dense that whatever is projectiled at the platoon gets slowed down and if not stopped. So this is basically what this is saying, the same thing, but as in a bigger scale, as a universe. So electricity, solids, and gases are interacting so much in our universe that it's creating tangible matter.
That's just as ridiculous as the Big Bang.
That's just
This is ridiculous.
Because it, I mean, yes, it could be a liquid.
Listen,
a gas
I'll just say this: there's heaven, there's earth, then there is outer darkness, which is the prison for the fallen who disobey God, and that is where the planets are. That's why they can orbit freely, not inside the firmament, fixed like the stars. They are in a prison outside of the firmament in darkness. There is no space. Space is fake. And people just got to understand that. Like, you don't have to trust me, but that's what the Bible says. So if you want to believe the Bible, then you're going to have to figure out how to believe that, because that's the truth. And science proves it. Like, I did a video, a Bible study on, biblical cosmology, and showed, exactly all these things. Show many, many proofs. It's like, once you stop believing the lie and start thinking about these things with an open mind and a logical sense of thinking, you see right through it. And I want to share this too. So, don't try this at home, anybody. Okay? This is my disclaimer. So don't say, well, you should have gave us a disclaimer. I'm giving you a disclaimer. You can make plasma right inside your microwave oven.
The grape.
You could take well, I've never done that, but you could take, if you take a glass and put it in your microwave and put like a stick onto the side so that when you put the glass down, it has air there. Okay? You take a match, you light the match, you put it under the glass, and then you put the glass on that stick so that the match can get air, and start the microwave, and it will form, that flame will turn into a ball of plasma. You don't want to run your microwave for more than like 5 seconds or whatever, because it will explode the glass. Don't try this at home. I'm just sharing. You could probably find a video of it on YouTube. It's probably a lot safer that way. But, yeah, my friend did this, and I watched him do it, and I was like, dude, that's crazy.
It is crazy, and it is doable.
Yeah.
You can do it on a smaller scale with a grape. A grape has like a vein that goes. You got to cut, not this way, but the long way. Cut the grape.
Yeah.
So you see it. You can cut it in half, right, and have half of it standing up. And I've done this with the microwave. And for a split of a second, the magnetic field goes through the grape, but there's just enough moisture, and the grape produces a certain chemical. That's how it makes wine, right?
Yeah.
That one vein that you cut the long ways down, it'll explode the grape, but you'll see it become plasma through that one little vein that goes through the grape, and then the grape will go pow. It's a little
crazy.
safer than, but yeah, it is crazy.
And it's especially crazy to think that's what people think our universe is made out of.
Right. You know,
it's just a big grape.
We're just a big grape. That's right. Electric magnetic fields going through it.
We're grape ape.
You know? Super hot. You know, think about it's more like you know, you get a timer for a game, a board game, an hourglass, right? You got all that sand, it gets condensed right here.
Yeah.
Right in here. Right. All your sand is up here, and it's being forced through this little opening, and it drips through, and that's time. So that's like us right here. All these light particles are being forced through, condensed. And we're condensed light energy, not tangible matter. That is the closest physical explanation of what we tangible matter are. But it doesn't explain what gives you life inside. Because what you're recognizing as tangible matter because of your consciousness is just a vessel. These are limitations. The five senses are limitations to who you really are.
We are spiritual beings having a human experience.
If you look in the mirror and you think you're Franz or you're Jason or your Mom Dukes, that is the physical experience you're experiencing.
It's like your car, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a spirit car.
I was explaining this to a fellow I work with, and I was saying, it's like believing in the reincarnation. Seeing the light, following the light, and coming back. That's the matrix. That's a soul matrix. That's not what's supposed to happen. If you want to talk about evolution, you're supposed to spiritually evolve into an understanding that you're a spiritual being. You want to live in this world as a physical being, wealthy, rich, famous forever? Not me. I don't. This is temporary. This is temporal. We're just experiencing a portion of what we truly are. Yeah. If you think you're just a human, you're mistaken. And every time you follow the light, you come back a little bit more of a spiritual midget. It's slightly more smaller, slightly more retarded to excuse my language, but it's true. You go through the soul matrix, you get further away from who you spiritually were or are.
Yeah, it's a trap. It's a trap,
Definitely.
man. Let me show you the eclipse pictures I took.
Okay.
First, I gotta like. It's probably gonna pop up right on the screen. I don't want it to pop up on. Cause that's what I'll. Yep, there it is. See that? I just gotta move this over here real quick. I gotta download these pictures. I just sent them to my phone, and then I can share them. Downloading. Oh, there we go. Let's see. All right. What? Oh, yeah, there's many of them. So, yeah, I'm going to show you the pictures of the eclipse as soon as I can. Here we go. Save all. And we'll save them. I'll just make a new folder, right? Now make it simple. Alright. Now I'll open it. Probably, yeah, see, it always does this. I got two screens, but it doesn't matter which one you click on. It always opens on the one you don't want it on. It's so irritating. Like, I'll click on it over here on purpose. And then it just opens it on the other one. It's like, what the heck, dude? Alright, so. Let's see. First I gotta... Oh, I don't have to share my screen. But I will anyway,
No,
so you can see it.
To show me you would, but I'll just watch.
I'll share it so that way.
Share it for them. I'll watch it that way.
Select window. Is that what you do? Select a window?
Correct.
Okay. It's like saying not now. How do I change that? It's not oh. Oh, I see. I gotta open the window first. Hold on.
Right.
Sorry. I never share my screen, so
I know.
I'm a little bit out of practice here.
We're doing a reverse on you.
Yeah, so I'll move it over here, and now I should be able to... Let me start this again. Not now. Just because I didn't have that window open, I don't think it registered. Pictures. Where? Why don't I see my... Oh, here it is. Boop. Okay, yep, allow. Okay, here we go. So, here we go. This should be working. Alright, now I'm getting the hang of this. Let's see. Is it gonna... Can you see that? Or is it dark on your screen?
It's coming up. I see it.
Is it like... It looks dark on this screen.
Kinda is.
Yeah, what is the deal there? Huh. Yeah, why is it so dark? Alright, well, I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way. So, you'll have to look at your phone or whatever. Alright.
Yep. That's fine.
So, this is... these are the pictures of the eclipse that I took. Now, you can see here, this is the sun, which is totally eclipsed, except for what you see right here. But this portion right here is actually the opposite. So it would be on the bottom left instead of the top right. And this was strange. And when I moved the camera around at different angles, this little light would move. Oh, look at that. There's like something right here underneath the sun. I don't know what it is. But, so, the eclipse is actually, what you're seeing is this sliver right here. Which is so weird. And as I turn the camera, see how it keeps moving around? It's like I got it to go on top, way down bottom. And look at how it shows up in front of the tree. Tell me that's not weird.
So it's double displaying itself
Yeah.
on the actual phone.
And you see this arc right here too?
Yeah, the red underneath it.
Yeah. So this is like a reflection of the sun, and then this eclipse is like the part that's showing, even though it looks like it's a full sun, it's not. It's totally eclipsed. Except for this little like crescent sliver. And this crescent sliver is over this tree instead of behind it, which makes no sense to me. So it's definitely some kind of lensing thing.
It's not a flare, though. I mean, that red would be more of a flare, but that is actually something showing up to actually flare like that on your lens.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I've seen other pictures like this too. People were getting the same effect.
I've seen it too. It could be explained off as a lens flare, but it wouldn't travel and appear opposite of what you're trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got some video footage of it too, but I haven't put it on my computer yet, so that I cannot show. Yeah. James says he heard North Korea has a perfected stabilization on their artificial sun. Yeah, you know why these places like China and North Korea are making artificial suns, right? Because there is a 3 days of darkness and they know it. This is why they're putting...
They know it. And they're not going to tell you. I mean, it happens. They're going to want you convinced that it's fake, it's not happening, and go out lolly-dolly and stare at the sun and whistle Dixie.
Right.
Like everything's just fine and lovely.
And get absolutely murdered by dark entities.
And that's exactly what it is. You know, like I said, there's not going to be a supervillain song and dance and singing out what's going on. It's just going to happen. So on that, too, I wanted to show you, James. Am I sharing? Can I share real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Entire.
You're not sharing yet, but you can. Go for it.
I'm getting there.
All right. Oh, I got to put us back on full screen, I think. Yeah, there we go. There you go.
Okay.
What do we got?
This is a solar simulator patent. If you look over here, the application filed, 1960.
Oh, man.
This is one of the solar simulators.
So fake
the
sun.
It's fake sun, nothing new under the sun. Yeah. So here it is. It's like I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, it looks like graphene.
Honeycomb,
Yeah.
right? So this is just a small portion of like mirror reflectors, and it'll be a huge honeycomb, look like a honeycomb nest. So this sun simulator is not new, and the fact that they're starting to talk about it doesn't surprise me. It's China or North Korea, because we've been doing it, since the 60s. There's multiple patents for it.
China's artificial sun. Yeah, that's why people were like, oh, I'm ascending into the fifth dimension. I see two suns. And it's like, Yeah, no.
No, you're not. You're
That's
not. You're not extending. And maybe it's such an artificial light that the solar eclipse you were getting those crazy blue, lens flares from. It's more just double reflection, double
yeah.
exposure of this. Come on, just
Yeah, I saw like I remember people were posting videos probably in like 2020 where they were like showing like, look, there's two suns. And I'm like, oh, what are you
yeah,
on, Tatooine?
dual sun.
You know? Where's Luke Skywalker? Yeah.
Right.
But they were talking about ascending. They're like, oh, we're ascending into fifth dimension spirituality. Like, oh my goodness, the things people, you know, when I was first trying to find God and stuff, like, there was like, I listened to this new age stuff, some of it, and I was like, I was like, is this real? Like, what? You know what I mean? Because I was, I didn't have any discernment yet. I had no Holy Spirit in me yet. But I was looking at, that's when I saw that Two Sons video, and I was like, why is there two suns? Is that real? But then once I got discernment from the Holy Spirit, then I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, this is all so easily explained away nowadays.
Yeah, the two sons. Yeah, Mormons, the two sons.
Yep. Look at that.
So here, this article says, "Let there be light." Germans switch on the largest artificial sun. This article is more than 7 years old. This was March 23rd, 2017. So this German scientist is switching on the world's largest artificial sun in the hopes that intense light sources can be used to generate climate-friendly fuel. The sunlight experiment in Jülich, about 19 miles west of Cologne. It produces light about 10,000 times the intensity of natural sunlight on Earth. How many people are our age group, our age generation says that we get sunburned or the sun feels different than it does when we were a kid? How many people can raise their hand to that?
Yeah, I get burned.
I've said it myself.
Yeah, actually,
like within half hour.
There's prophetic messages talking that the sun is going to get hotter in the end. It's going to burn people. Yeah, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and that's in the sun with nothing to do. A little country boy. Outside all day.
Yeah, I gotta I'm a painter, so I'm always outside. By the end of summer, I'm like dark. Me and
but the sun just feels hotter.
No, yeah, it is hotter. Me and Kayla used to have contests to see who gets darker faster during the summer. She did beat me one year. I did a lot of indoor work that summer.
Yeah. So there's actually, unless I can go up there and change the light bulb on the sun, I can't prove to you that it's just a big gas ball that has plasma burning inside of it.
It's 93 million miles away, man.
93.
That's what they say. 666. It's 93 million miles away. It takes 8 seconds. Or 8 seconds or 8 minutes or something. I forget, but for the sun. Oh my goodness. I used to know so many of these stupid lie facts. So it takes about 8 minutes for the photons to reach the Earth, and they said it takes about 150,000 years or million years for one of the photons that's formed in the heart of the sun to actually get out of the sun and make its way to Earth. I'm like, seriously? Like, what is this, witchcraft? Like, how do you know that? What are you watching, this one photon inside the core of the sun that you can't see, and just, taking these measurements that would melt your equipment? I mean, come on.
No. It literally, it is that ridiculously funny. Like how, or I also, I can't fathom the explanation of, you can go outside at night and see that star. That's a bright star. That star is actually burnt out, though. Where it physically is, way out in space. It's not there anymore. What you're seeing is the light of it going away.
Yeah.
So shouldn't that fade pretty soon? Any minute now? Shouldn't that light dim and go away?
Right. Shouldn't we see like giant beams going through the sky then? Right? I mean,
no, exactly.
When you shine a flashlight in the dark, you see a big beam. So, I mean, if this thing's traveling from a billion miles away, it should be a billion-mile beam, right? It's so... Yeah, when you actually, like, when you're taught these things and you're in the Matrix, like, you're like, oh, okay. You don't... It's because you don't think about it.
You don't.
But when you just trust it. But then when you, like, start to actually think about it, like, why is the ocean flat? How is the ocean flat on a round world? This is a strange one. You start to, like, see these things. Like, how come the moon's only half a moon when the sun and the moon are out together right there? How is it a half? How is the earth making a shadow when they're both right next to each other? You start to, like, wonder these things that don't make any sense.
No, and then when you do question that, and they'll give you the next level of explanations of, well, that's the appearance or how you observe it from down here.
Yeah.
But if you were ginormous and up there, you would see it the way we're explaining it.
I had this kid gave me my favorite comment ever. I put a video. It was it's one of my shorts. And if you guys look at my shorts videos, you'll see that there's one saying, what's making the shadow or something like that. And so I show you the sun, and then I pan over to the moon, which is like a half a moon. And then I pan back to the sun, and I make sure that I show you that I'm panning because I keep a tree, the top of a tree branches, in the frame, so you can see that it's not a trick, that I'm actually going back and forth. And I said, I wonder what's making the shadow on the moon. And this kid wrote, it's the earth, duh. Dude, I was like, okay. Don't ask me how the earth is making a shadow from down here when they're up there, but if you insist. That was like my favorite comment. He was so proud of himself, not realizing how ridiculous what he just said was. Yeah, the whole narrative just falls right apart, man, when you start looking into it.
It does. I remember when you did have that short, because it's funny because I was doing the same thing at a field hockey game, my daughter's field hockey game, and there was other children's parents around me watching me, and I'm like, moon, sun, moon, sun, field hockey players, moon, sun. How is this possible? Doing the same thing. Of course, that's our shadow on the moon. And I looked around and I could see other people being like, wait a minute, I've never questioned that. I've never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
It's like, think about that one. I didn't tell you to, but I can see you thinking about it. Go think about that one.
Right, man. Like, when
you
ask people to look at stuff like that, that opens up their minds because they can't explain it away. You know, it's like, then they'll see you again and be like, okay, I give up. What is making the shadow? You know, they're like, you obviously knew something, so tell me what you know. You know? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Crazy world we live in. Crazy world.
It is crazy, and it's getting crazier by the minute. And if any of you out there think that or feel that and can't help this overwhelming, uncontrollable feeling that it's just getting more and more hectic and crazy, you're not crazy, and you're not wrong. It's absolutely happening. And stop trusting in mainstream everything and more men telling you what it is. You know, read your Bible. Your Bible is your mirror to yourself and to how you interact with this crazy world.
Yeah, trust the word of God. Bible says, let God be true and every man a liar. And that's exactly what we got here. This is a whole world of deceptions. It's the real Matrix. It's really no different than the movie. It's just instead of being a digital computer world, it is a spiritual deception.
Yep.
Right? And they even tell you, they say the Matrix is the world that's been pulled over your eyes to keep you from seeing the truth. That's exactly what it is.
And if you never spiritually evolve into that understanding, you're gonna follow the light. You're gonna want to come back. You're gonna want to be here.
Yeah.
So you're gonna come back as another into another vessel, and identify as that being who you are, and stuck in it. Because I can tell you right now, I am not going to finish this physical experience hoping or thinking that I'm going to follow a light and I'm going to be a human again. I'm not coming back. I'm going to go. You know, even atheists say, well, when you die, nothing happens. You just merge back to nothing. Yeah, sounds biblical to me, you know. You don't hear what you're saying, right? But so you go back to the creator, right? That's what you're supposed to do. That's the true evolution.
Yeah.
If you believe that doesn't happen, you believe I want to follow the light. When I die, I want to come back. I want to live forever here. You're going to be stuck here.
Right, because they're following that false light, that Lucifer, the light bringer's light.
The light bearer. Yeah.
Yeah, they're following that Statue of Liberty right into damnation, man. Just because she's got the torch don't mean you should let her lead the way. That's all I can say.
Well, she's going to bear witness on the destruction.
Yep, she will be destroyed.
But that's for another show, another time. So
another day. That's like sounded like the Dark Crystal thing. Another show, another time, another world.
It's awesome how we still keep coming back and referencing that.
Yeah,
that classic.
I was just watching. Netflix did a series called
the Dark Crystal series.
Yeah, called The Age of Resistance. It has like 10 episodes.
I'm gonna have to. It's in Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to read. That was the other reason why I didn't watch the other one too, because I just don't have Netflix anymore. I
don't have Netflix either. I kind of acquire things.
Oh yeah.
I could share it with you.
Yeah, I could. I thought about that too. I'm like, I could, but
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. Definitely demonic. Totally, like everything that comes out is like Antichrist-y. It's all like Antichrist. It's even called the Age of Resistance.
I was about to say the Age of Resistance.
Oh, yeah, man. It's absolutely.
It's like I just want to hop on a Landstrider and go running.
Yeah, exactly. These things are cruise, man.
All right. Well, On that note, till next time. Thank you for tuning in and sticking with us and listening to us discuss what we do.
Yeah, whatever came to our heads, right?
I hope you were able to follow along, or enjoyed a little bit of this nonsensical explanations of everything. Mom Dukes, you're welcome. It's good to see you here, and everybody else. Until next time. God bless you. Stay vigilant, and don't stare at the sun.
Yeah. Otherwise, your eyes will hurt.
All right.
Take care, brother. Thank you. God bless. All right, guys. That sums up this week's episode of Lifting the Veil with Franz. He had a show put together, but he kind of lives in the mountains, and he lost some power, and he lost a lot of stuff that he had put together. But he didn't want to not do the show, so we talked a little bit before the show and just decided to do some freestyle. We went over some words we can't say so that we don't get pinched by the rhythm. But yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it. It's covered a whole aspect of stuff, and so thank you guys all for tuning in. Appreciate everyone being here. Appreciate you guys hanging out in the comment section, and yeah. So, as always, thank you all for stopping by. God bless you all. And I will see you Saturday night for the Bible study, for those of you who will be tuning in. And until then, be safe out there. Stay prayed up. Read your Bibles. And God bless.